NCAA basketball totals for Tuesday, January 24th. This is the segment where we look at totals set by oddsmakers in NCAA hoops, and we try to beat that line either over or under the total. We got 3 games on the card today, 3 good games. There's a ton of really good NCAA matchups today. We also have our NBA segment that goes off live 4 o'clock Eastern on the Facebook page. Be sure to check that one out. Really good feedback going on in that one. Share that video, share this video, YouTube channel, Facebook page, like I said, sbrpicks.com, Sportsbook review, all the sign-up bonuses, blacklist, all sorts of good stuff at our website. Got to check it out. So be sure to share the vid. And let's talk some basketball. So far, so good in NCAA hoops. The season's been going pretty well, so let's continue to grind it out. And we got 3 games on the card today. We're looking at the totals. Here we go. First one up, we got is Purdue and Michigan State. Oddsmakers have it at 140.5. And I'm going under. And I looked at this one for quite some time. Sorry, let me bring up my statistics here. So in this matchup, let's look at some numbers real quick here. So the last couple times they've met up, we had a 143.5 set by oddsmakers and a 143.5 set by oddsmakers. They went over and then they went under. The last time they met up in the tournament. 66-62 final on that one. So the reason why I like the under, this little bit of all these plays today for me are a little bit of a numbers play. So when I look at this number, I really thought we were going to see something higher because Michigan State can push some tempo, and so can Purdue. Look at Purdue scoring right now, 82.8 points per game. They're ranked 19th in the country. Michigan State, not bad, averaging 72.2 points per game. But what I like is the defenses. They really shine. Painter, despite his critics, he does a nice job on the defensive end, and they're really tough at home. We know Izzo is going to do a great job on the glass and defensively. Michigan State allowing 67.8 points per game, Purdue 65.7. Statistically, across the board defensively, 2 tough teams. You got Michigan State allowing just 39.9%. They're ranked 29th in the country. Purdue, not bad at all, just over 40%, 40.5%, which ranks in the top 40. So 2 good defensive teams going at it here. The tempo is going to be a little bit quick, but Michigan State doesn't go very fast. They only average 55 attempts per game. That's pretty slow. Now, Purdue wants to get up and down the floor, so it's going to depend on that flow. Offensively, Purdue's tough. Right now, they're second in the country in assists. Statistically, they're 7th in shooting efficiency. Really good statistics. And Michigan State can score as well. So this is a numbers play for me. I really thought that number would come out like maybe 144 or something like that. But oddsmakers didn't go that way. They went down, and I think they're right. I think it's going to be a good little defensive battle. Probably goes down to almost the wire. Purdue should win this game. Of course they should. They're at home, and they're a bit better than Michigan State, in my opinion, this year. At least, I believe that's the case. So let's go ahead and back under the total at 140.5 is what we have it at, and I just don't think they're going to get there. All right, next one up, we're going the other way. We've got Villanova and Marquette. This is going to be an awesome game. I'm going to watch this one. Oddsmakers have it at 153, and I'm going over. This is the highest total, second time in their history that they've matched up in the Big East, or we've seen a total this high since 2006, is what I got stats back to. There was a 153. They had, I'm wrong, I'm so sorry, I skipped one. They had a 154.5 back in 2010 in which they went under. They did have a 153 in which they went over, and that was in 2012. Now, of course, we got Steve Wojnarowski there. Buzz Williams not there anymore. It's been a while for that. So we got some different dynamics as to that time frame. But recently, let's look at their last couple games here. The last 2 times they've matched up 89-79 and 93-81. And I'm almost positive those games did not go into overtime. That's something I should have checked before. But oddsmakers had it at 140.5 and then 149. They've gone over the last 3 times they've matched up, and I think they go over today because it's at Marquette. Villanova's a really good defensive team, but they can score as well, and I think they're going to be able to score tonight against a Marquette team coming off a big win at Creighton. Although Creighton was without their point guard, this game really should get up and down. I think that's what we're going to see tonight. As I'm just checking something real quick here. Villanova's excellent, by the way, as we already know. But that's a really good Villanova team. I mean, I think they have a legitimate shot to repeat. So I'm just taking a look at the last year's game with Marquette. Now, there was no overtime on that, but it was up tempo really fast. So they caught them just that one time On February 27th of last year, they went 89-79. So that would get us, well over this total. I think this is what we're going to see tonight. Statistically speaking, when we look at Marquette and Villanova, you're talking about two teams that can really score. And Marquette loves to push tempo. I mean, just look at these numbers here. Marquette, they're averaging 84.6 points per game. They're ranked 13th in the country, and they're averaging over 60 attempts per game, and they're allowing about that much too. So both these, and Villanova, although they play great D, allowing just 62 points per game, that ranks 13th in the country. They're still getting up 78.6 points per game. That ranks in the top 50, and they can shoot. They're number 2 in the country in shooting efficiency, and they're 5th shooting over 50% from the field. Marquette, not bad either. They're shooting 49.5%. That ranks 15th in the country. So both these teams can score, and Marquette is 4th in shooting efficiency. They're going to get there. I think they're going to get that 153. That's a solid number set by odds makers, but I really think they get over the total. That's going to be a good one to watch. All right, last one up. We got Kansas State, Iowa State. We're heading to the Big 12. This is also another good matchup. Conflicting styles here. And odds makers, they have this total at 143, and I'm going under because that actually another numbers play where it looks just a bit too low when you have Iowa State in the equation, a really up-tempo team, really, really fast team. But Kansas State's not. Now let's look at the last couple of matchups. We had last two matchups. We had a 152.5, they went under, and a 149.5, and they went under. And that was last year, same two coaches, a little different personnel, but same two type of styles. We had a 76-63 final and an 80-61. So, they've gone under. They went under those last two times. So odds makers have adjusted it now to 143. So although thinking about Iowa State, you think it's going to be up tempo, and Kansas State can score. I don't think they get there though. I think Kansas State's going to really try and grind this one out like they have against Iowa State. They're going to have to because Iowa State can really get up and down the floor. I mean, you look at them, 81.6 points per game, and they're averaging 67.6 attempts. That ranks 3rd in the country. That is super fast. So for just those numbers alone, and they're at home, for odds makers to set this at 143, that looks a bit off. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to back under the total, go the other way on that. And Kansas State can score. They're shooting 49% from the floor. That ranks 19th in the country, and they average 76.5 points per game. I mean, you put these averages together, you're talking 157 points per game. But odds makers have 143 for a reason. So I'm going to go ahead and back under the total. Two good defensive teams. Iowa State 68.5 points per game allowed. Kansas State really good, 64.4. So I'm going to go ahead and back under that total. All right, let's recap that. A lot of information really quick. Had to recheck a couple things too, and I did make one mistake, so sorry about that. We got Purdue, Michigan State under the 140.5, Villanova, Marquette over the 153, and Kansas State, Iowa State under the 143. 3 great games, whole slate of great games out there. Tune into that NBA segment. That's a lot of fun if you want to chat and get some feedback, and we can talk. Maybe you got some good information for me, which I always appreciate. And I appreciate you guys for watching, and I wish you luck on your picks today.
Go to SBRodds.com. Browse, compare, and shop live odds available at top online sportsbooks.